Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here, and I hope all of you guys are having a good morning, evening, wherever you guys are from, and welcome back to another Bitcoin technical analysis. And today I wanted to talk about this possible inverse head and shoulders forming on the 4-hour chart, as well as the implications that this could have on the future of the Bitcoin market. Now, we did see a great bounce off the 200 EMA, and then this 50 EMA actually being broken, and with Bitcoin holding above that, there's really one area for Bitcoin to look for next. And today I'm going to be talking about that. So if you guys are interested, go and stick around for the video, and do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this video. Now, as I mentioned, guys, the 200 EMA held very well. This is one of those areas that I had been banking on. I talked about this in numerous videos about why this is a very strong support, as well as it's combined with the 382 fib retracement. So this was a strong support. It did held, and it has been something that has held for months to come, and really for months to bin. And so with the bounce off of this area, it creates a very good scenario for Bitcoin, because now what we're actually looking at is a possible higher high potential on Bitcoin. But there's one area of resistance left before we get to that higher high, and that's going to be this $12,500 area, which is this previous swing high. Now, this was something that I was talking about in Discord, because this is a crucial area for Bitcoin. Even if this is an inverse head and shoulders, if this fails, then this would mean that there would be 3 lower swing highs, and that would be a pretty bad thing to see in this market. And then obviously that would make me reimagine that we would probably retest this 200 EMA area. However, a inverse head and shoulders is a bullish formation and continuation pattern. So if this is going to play out accordingly, I would imagine that we actually see a retest of the current high, if not a higher high. So it's not going to be as parabolic because I'm drawing it up, obviously, but this is kind of the overall picture that I'm looking at here. So I am looking at this area of resistance as something that is going to be a little bit significant. Again, we're about probably about $1,000 away from it right now, so we're not too far, but we're not necessarily too close either. We have a little bit of ways to go in between here and there, but I think it's very possible. Again, we've been testing this area and testing this area, and now what we can actually even be imagining is a possible ascending triangle action as well. And so if I'm going to go ahead and draw up that, it can look something a little bit like this. And so what we're going to be doing is using the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders as this top of the ascending triangle of sorts. So I can just kind of draw that up, and this is kind of the idea that I would be getting over here. So just another possibility. Some people have been trying to say that this could be a pennant forming. I think it's a lot more logical that this is either an inverse head and shoulders or an ascending triangle formation. Now, just because they are both bullish formation and continuation patterns, it does not mean that they have to play out bullishly. So often people get confused and they see this as a bullish case scenario for Bitcoin, and then it fails and they say, okay, well, TA's obviously thrown out the window. And I think part of any technical analysis is that the TA isn't always correct. Just because something is bullish, it doesn't mean it has to play out in that way. And sometimes things do fail and things don't go according to plan. If anything was certain, then, well, this wouldn't be any kind of risk and everyone would be doing it. But looking at this from more of a macro scale, as I mentioned, the 12.5K resistance and the 14K resistance are going to be the two ones to the upside that I'm looking at. They're really some of the only ones that we have left in between, like here and 17 and 20,000. But to the downside, guys, this 200 EMA, I've mentioned this so many times already, but this guy has been getting used as support for so long, and it's really great to see that this held. And what this does is actually create a really good, kind of potential to the future of Bitcoin, more so than anything else, because it's saying, hey, this could actually not be done yet, because after we've seen the past bounces off the 200 EMA, there was really just a significant run to follow. So we bounced over here. We went from around 5,000 all the way up to, what is this, around 9,000, came back down, touched it at around 7,400, went all the way back up to 14,000. So now we're touching this at around 9.7K. And so the potential towards the upside is probably around the 17K area on Bitcoin. And the reason why I'm getting 17K more so than any other number is because if we switch this to the daily time scale, what we can actually see over here is that this previous high, really the last high that we have in between our current area and over here, is going to be the 17K mark. And I'll go ahead and kind of put a little circle around it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But just kind of looking at where we are at now, right in here in this area, there's not too much. Yes, we do have resistance right here at around this 11,500 to 600 area. I've talked about that in the past, but if we can get over this little hump, I'm sure we can, then really the only resistance next is going to be around this area and of course our previous high. So big time players coming into the cryptocurrency market here. Something else I want to bring up is this MACD. Now, if you guys can see this on the, I'll go ahead and delete this for now, but I have to bring it back up for a later example. But what we can see over here is potential double bullish divergence on the daily MACD, which is a really good thing to see. Moving this back to the 4-hour time scale, one of the things that I wanted to show with this actual line that I had drawn up was this double bullish divergence that I talked about in the previous video. It actually was able to play out because this came right into effect with the 386 fib retracement, I believe. Yes, I'm sorry, the 382 fib retracement and the 200 EMA, as well as on the 4-hour chart. We had triple. Well, now we have triple. We had double bullish divergence. It played out very, very well towards the bullishness of Bitcoin, and now we have triple bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, something that the bulls are absolutely loving. This is a little bit late, as we do know the MACD is a lagging indicator, so it is a little bit behind. Just because this is triple bullish divergence now, it's been triple bullish divergence ever since this guy rounded off over here. It was triple bullish, so this is a little bit, or probably about a day late to this party, maybe 2 days. But for anyone who was able to catch this, congratulations. The RSI is the last thing I want to talk about over here because, something that I talked about is with it getting this low, I would imagine that it coming close to this 30 area. It did. And then I saw the bounce coming in here because usually you don't have these massive gaps on the RSI. It's something that I've used for a long time now without having any sort of a bounce. So what we did see is a great bounce in the RSI. The next point I imagine this guy touching is probably either a retest of this 70/overbought territory. If it is going to end up being bearish, I would expect a bounce around the 30 mark down here, which would be a lower low for the time being. Hopefully we can get a higher swing low here around this 30 mark, and probably hopefully just below this 30 mark. I think that would be ideal. Probably a higher swing low around 27, 28 would be ideal for getting some really good double bullish divergence and a great buying opportunity, strictly in my opinion. So finishing up this video, guys, Bitcoin isn't looking too bad right now. Again, I think it needs to break this pivotal mark over here. I can go ahead and erase this guy and look at this, but it's above the 236. It's above the 382 again. It's kind of just floating in here. It needs to break this. What it really has over here, if you guys want to look at really a secondary resistance line, you can draw up something a little bit like this. I don't think this is too important. I think that these previous highs are going to be the areas that Bitcoin needs to break, especially this 12.5K. If it can break this, I think Bitcoin has a lot of room to move towards the upside. However, it has to break these resistance levels first. So nothing too crazy as of yet. Bitcoin is looking pretty good for the time being. Again, needs to break that resistance if it wants to do anything crazy. But until then, it's kind of just a waiting game. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys did, hit that like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot, and I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. What is Bitcoin looking like here? Are we going to actually shoot for a new high, or is this just the beginning of the bear market? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.